On May 2nd, 2013, Dontrunner Robinson was beaten to death on Flag Street in front of his wife. A death that narcotics officers within BRPD would later mock through a joke they labeled the Flag Street Massacre. Dontrunner's wife was never questioned about the beating that Tron took. She was only questioned about Tron and drugs. If I'm lying, she was taken to an interrogation room at Louisiana State Police. This case is closed. Colonel Lamar Davis could drop those tapes today and make a liar out of me. Louisiana State Police won't because they can't. In addition, over 50 people, including Dontrunner's mom and son, saw Officer Elena Mancuso that night out on Flag Street hit Dontrunner in the back of the head with a gun. Per their statements directly, they watched in amazement as his body flopped to the ground. Those witnesses watched him pick up Dontrunner off the ground by his shoulders and drag him back inside. To this day, none of those witnesses have never been questioned by anybody but the NAACP. About an hour later, paramedics arrived, but we'll get to them later. BRPD took a video hard drive from Dontrunner's house that night, long before the sheriff's office arrived. Witnesses can even attest to hearing officers tell other officers to stop trying to knock the cameras off the house. For 8 years, Dontrunner Robinson's video hard drive sat in an evidence room at East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office. For 8 years after the closing of the case, this agency maintained his mother's property, Ms. Costa's property, for 8 years. On August 25th, 2021, the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Casey Rayborn Hicks sent an email to USA Today in response to a public records request. Casey Rayborn's words verbatim: "I received clarification from detectives on this. The device that was seized with the search warrant reference and placed in the evidence, no recorded videos were located on the hard drive from the surveillance cameras. Thanks, Casey. To the media sources that are here today, I have forwarded some of y'all that link already to that email. I will forward the rest of y'all to that email where Ms. Casey directly states that there was no video found on that recorded hard drive." Casey Rayborn Hicks, what happened to the video? Was it deleted when it got to you? I asked because the engineer that we sent the box to started to recover deleted files. 3 of those frames will be handed over to our media friends here today. Casey, that hard drive was not empty. Maybe you didn't know that, but Casey, why and who tampered with it? Broken frame files were found on the hard drive you said to USA Today was empty. In addition, we know that the drugs from your photo were weighed in blood and fluid, making it heavier. We believe you even misled the community about how many drugs were recovered. Back to the paramedics. In your report, you cite that you could not put a tube into his throat because of blood, not drugs. BRPD and the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office are the only people that say that. To the paramedics, who's lying? You or law enforcement in 2013? Bo Clark, your investigator, Mr. Nick Washington, stated there was a laceration on his forehead and cheek with no other forms of trauma at the hospital. From the photos that it took you 8 years to release, we can clearly see there were other forms of trauma. Dontrunner suffered, which lines up with the statement his wife gave about his beating. Bo Clark, who's lying? Dr. Cameron Snyder, the coroner reports states that you recovered a bag from his throat that paramedics said did not exist. This could be easy though, because officers Elena Mancuso, Richard McCloskey, Seth Sinclair, Chris McClure can all attest to what his wife witnessed that day in that house, and that was Drew White beating Dontrunner Robinson to death. Elena Mancuso, you even cite a brief struggle on your report. From the photos, we know that to be a lie as well. Last but not least, Commissioner Nicole Robinson, are you aware of how this warrant that you signed was carried out? A no-knock warrant that was supposed to be for a high-level drug arrest that yielded very low results. Nicole, are you aware of how this warrant was carried out? I presented enough here today, which we feel proves this case should be reopened and this family brought justice. I didn't call one name here today because I'm still holding out hope that that person will do the right thing. And before I take my fade, EMS, was he really breathing when y'all left? Because there's a whole lot of witnesses that can say something else. Thank you.
Attorney Ryan Boye, and on behalf of Haley and Associates, we represent Ms. Casa in her struggle to get justice for her son. This is something that we've watched over the years that police officers in these different agencies are not coming to the forefront with the honesty of what's really going on. We're asking that the U.S. Attorney's Office open up an investigation on this. We're asking that the District Attorney's Office reopen an investigation on this and allow Ms. Casa to seek the justice that she so requires. Ms. Casa, would you like to say?
I'm Dontrunner Robinson, Mama. I ask each and every official look at this case and reopen this case and give my family peace. I wait 8 long years. I'm seeking justice. I wish that I could have got it sooner, but now it is facing us now. I ask again that each official please look at this case and reopen this case, because we need closure.
Mike.
Hello, Mike McClanahan, NAACP Louisiana State Conference President. 8 years. 8 years is a long time, but for us, justice delayed does not mean justice denied. We have enough evidence. We have enough evidence being shown, being presented. We have more evidence that will be shown to let us know that there should be some persons with uniforms brought to justice. We don't want justice in the back of a room, back of a house, back of a yard. Police officers are entrusted with a duty to go out, arrest persons that they believe that have committed a crime, and bring them to the courthouse, the halls of justice. Not in the back room, not in the alleyway. That's not how we do justice. And if they can't do their job the way it's supposed to be done, we want them to quit. Turn your badge in. We respect you a whole lot more if you turn your badge in and say, this is just not what I want to do. But if you're going to wear that badge, carry it out the way it's supposed to be done. Dontrunner Robinson has is owed a duty, just like any other citizen is owed, to be arrested if he's committed a crime, brought before the courthouse, and have a trial. He didn't get that. He had the judge, jury, and execution done in the back alleyway of his house. That should not happen. We're standing here today. We're going to get justice, one way or the other, because when we fight, we win.
At this time, media, we'll take whatever questions that you all may have. I think we had a good recitation of what we see as the beginning facts of what's to come out in Mr. Robinson's case. If you all have any questions, we can try and allay some of those concerns and questions right now.
The video that y'all have been able to recover, I understand that you don't believe there was a gap in that video. Have y'all found any more of that video? Where are we at on the video that y'all were able to recover?
So the video that we were able to recover, we recovered in broken frames. What we believe that happened, and we sent this to a very competent engineer out of state to actually look and try to recover these files. What he found is what you call broken frames, which is broken fragments of files, which is consistent with things that have been tampered with or files that were attempted to be deleted using a number sequence. So he's in the process of recreating those video files, in which we have 3 clips from that box already. Just to tell you, there's over 1 million broken fragments that we found on that box that's having to be re-put back together to collect those video files, and we're anticipating about 5.5 days on that scan to get a complete video from what happened that night. But that's being done as we speak.
And when we follow that, is it your belief that those were deleted by law enforcement?
It's not only our belief, we know that to be a fact. From what we found with that box, there's no way that you get broken files in that manner and files were not deleted or attempted to be deleted. We were just lucky enough that this Good Samaritan with the background and expertise to do this reached out and wanted to help.
I have a question. So why did they send it to you after years of asking and requesting for that footage? What sparked that? Made them send it?
Well, they never sent it to us. Originally, Ms. Casa was told that the box did not exist. After a little bit of digging and some communications from some officials, we found that the video hard drive was actually sitting in the sheriff's evidence lockup, in which we tried to retrieve that video hard drive, in which they told us no. At that point, Haley and Associates actually started the legal process of retrieving that box, in which Ms. Casa went to court and fought for the right to get her property back. At that point, in the email that some of y'all have, I don't know if you have it yet, but I'll make sure you have it, the USA Today actually sent a public information request and asked for any video that was found on that box, in which they were told that none existed. And we now know that to be a lie.
If this case were to reopen, who would be in charge of it? The U.S. District Attorney or the Scott News Parish District Attorney?
I'll speak to it. Typically what happens is that the state police will take over a case like this, okay? We work with the state police in similar files of this nature. We ask that the U.S. Attorney's Office get involved. That's something that we will be seeking, that they will get involved as well, and we'll be able to work from there. We don't feel like the case is closed. There were some legal proceedings that took place in this case already. They kind of went silent as it relates to Mr. Robinson, am I correct? And so we're here to reinitiate those legal proceedings and move forward in court. So we'll pick up where those other legal proceedings left off at. And by the way, I'm Attorney Dietrich.
So will this issue, the video, become part of the ongoing civil litigation, or has it already?
Well, we feel like absolutely it will. Whenever you have a deleted file that may lead to the death of an individual caused by a member of Baton Rouge Police Department, then certainly that's some information that we would like to bring into these proceedings to help prove the case and give vindication and some peace for this family right here.
And can you speak a little more specifically about where the civil lawsuit stands now? Like, what is the timeline?
I'm sorry, I can't hear your question.
Sorry. Can you speak more about the ongoing civil lawsuit? Like, where does it stand now? What is the timeline for it moving forward?
Well, out of abundance of caution, like I mentioned earlier, there was another legal group that was involved in these matters. Those efforts kind of stymied. We feel comfortable that we'll be able to pick them up. So where they are, we're going to approach this as it's approaching from the beginning. However, we'll find out and do our due diligence to bring it up to speed as quickly as possible.
DA said over the summer he was going to review the files in this case to see if it needed to be reopened. Have you heard from the DA on this case, and are you satisfied with his movement so far, or is more need to be done to expedite the process?
At this point, in order to be fair with the District Attorney's Office, we're still doing our research as well. Once we have our research in order, we'll have all the information retrieved from the hard drive. I think that would be a more appropriate time for us to approach the District Attorney's Office about determining whether or not he should be quickened to take some sort of legal action as it relates to the police officers that may have been involved in this atrocity. Anybody else? What we'd like to do is close out. I'm going to ask Mr. McCallahan to come back up, close us out if there are no more questions.
As you can see today, the NAACP will always stand on the forefront of justice. We want those that have been involved in this travesty to come forward. If not, we're going to come get you. We're going to hunt you down, because the arm of justice doesn't sleep. Justice is what justice is for everybody, not for select few. And we want Ms. Costa to know that we're standing here with her at 24/7, 365, to let her and others know that we never sleep either. We will always be here. No justice, no peace.